Alright, so here we're gonna have a quick review of the Roseselsa Distant Mountain. This is an on-ear set which retails for around $65 to $75 depending on where you see it. And yeah, let's get into this. Big thank you to Roseselsa for sending this out to me for review. Technics Roseselsa. I really do appreciate it. Now the box is a bit big for my table, but I'll make it work. Unboxing experience is actually really nice for this price. I was actually very impressed. You know, the hinge for the box has like the box with the secondary ear pads, which we'll talk about. I kind of like the kind of thing that looks kind of cool. And then on the side here, trying to get this in frame, we have another box, which I'll take that out. And come on, get out of there. Which I'll try to get out quickly so I can put it in frame. Here we go. Here, and then we got the actual on-ear headphones themselves. Take that out. Come on, there we go. And I'll put the box to the side. Alright. So, in the inner boxes, we have the second set of ear pads, which are like kind of the full whole pad, which this one has an open center. So we'll talk about that. Very big difference in the sound with these compared to the these are the original ones that were on there. These are the I'm just gonna say open pads, which have the open center. These are the full pads, which have the whole thing filled. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. Inside of here, that says giveaway. I don't exactly know why it says giveaway on it, but it has an anime character, like anime stand, which let me get this out of the bag here. A lot of IEMs and now I guess on-ear headphones have these like anime characters and stuff. So yeah, I mean, if you like this stuff, it is free, so why not? Come on, how do you get this one here? I think there's like a stand that you push this in here, and like there you go. You got like a anime girl stand, I guess. I don't really use these type of things, but I mean, a lot of people do like them, so it's a nice inclusion, I guess, if you like that stuff. Let's take this out here. Got like some paperwork and stuff like that. Anyway, that's about it for that. Let's take the cable out here now. This is a MMCX cable, which is really nice to see. A lot of on-ears have like attached cables, which I absolutely hate. So yeah, these have an MMCX connector on each side, which thank you. The cable though sucks. This cable is actually horrible. Probably one of the worst cables I've ever seen. It's very like janky. It's not supple at all. This coating, though it is cloth, feels really cheap. Overall, I think that this is just like a stand-in cable for like so you have something initially. But I at least I really hope that they're just expecting you to change this cable, because this is a bad cable. This is actually awful, and I'm kind of disappointed because it's really cheap to include like a nicer cable than this. So they should have really done that, especially at the price of like 65, 75 bucks. I've seen better cables with like $15 IEMs, $30 IEMs. This is not good. Alright, let's move this boxing to the side. I'll also move the anime girl to the side. Alright, so on to the on-ears themselves. Build quality. Build quality is fantastic. I actually love the build quality in here. It was a very pleasant surprise. Almost all metal from what I can tell. This part is really nicely like fake leather coating on it, which looks very good. Has nice enough padding on the headband itself, and overall just feels and looks very well built. Overall for the looks, I mean, this is not really my type of design, but I can see why other people would like this. It has that kind of retro-ish look, and I think a lot of people would like this look. For me, it's okay looking. It's not exactly my thing, but it doesn't look bad. But it is overall really well built. It has a very nice design, and yeah, overall, I think the build quality and the look, very nice. As for comfort, I think they're okay in comfort, but they're not the best. The clamp is the problem for me. It's a bit strong in the clamp. I have here the kph-40 with, to be fair, Yaxi pads. These are like third-party pads, and these are a lot more comfortable to me because they're a lot lighter as well. These are like quite weighty because of all the metal. This is also all metal, but it's very thin, and the clamp is a lot lighter. So it looks like it's tighter on camera, but it is a lot lighter clamp, and it's just overall much more comfortable on my head. I can wear this for a lot longer, but we'll talk about the kph-40 in comparison as well a little bit later. Now let's talk about sound here. So I'm just gonna move this like this. I'm trying to get everything to fit in frame. Let's compare now the open pads to the full pads. Which ones do I like more? Overall, I like the open ones a lot more. That's why they're on the actual headphones themselves still. The Distant Mountain has very good quality sound for the price, I'd say, but much more value with the open pads. The full pads are just a little bit generic sounding. They have a little bit more of like the classical tuning, bass, a little bit V-shaped, a little bit pushed back mids to make room for the heavy bass and the extended treble. But overall, the detail was lacking with the full pads, and overall, it had like a slight metallic timbre to it. It's not bad for the price, but overall, I think that the kph40 does this style of sound that the full one does better. So I'm gonna talk about the open pads first, and I'm gonna bring in the kph40 for comparison with both styles. So bass, the bass with the open pads has a good tactility to it, but it's a little bit lacking in quantity. Also, the texture is just moderate, not the greatest, but it's still good. The bass overall, the tactility, the punch is nice, but it's just the quantity is quite low. It pushes the mids a lot more forward. So it's really mid-range focused, and it has good treble as well. Treble control is excellent with the open pads, and overall mid-range has such a nice presence in the track, very smooth sounding. Overall, also very detailed. I was very impressed by the mid-range detail. Vocals have an excellent texture to them, excellent detail, while instruments sounded gorgeous, smooth, good quality, great timbre. Overall, fantastic. I was actually very surprised. I thought that the open center would cause you to have a lot of sibilance, but in reality, actually, the sibilance came from the full pads. I actually, when using the full pads, I had a little bit of sibilance, a little bit of fatigue in the treble, while the open pads had no sibilance almost at all. And it was just very well-tuned treble. It was still had great extension in the treble without ever getting harsh. Overall, I think that the open pads are really a great value for getting this set at $65 or even $75 for someone who's looking for a bass light set that has really good mid-range presence with great vocal forwardness and overall great treble as well without getting too fatiguing. I will say this is probably more for somebody who wants, more vocal-centric tuning or more vocal-centric, music or instrumental music or classic. But this is not really for the bass head person. This is not really for someone who wants a lot of bass or really amazing quality bass. I don't think that's where this is at. But for someone who wants, a bit bass light set, it's still very enjoyable bass too. It's good tactility, great quality bass. It's just not the most quantity in bass. So if you really want a lot of bass, this is not for you. But if you want or you're okay with just a little bit bass light, this is an excellent value. Alright, so I'm going to bring in the kph40 with the Yaxi pads, and I'm going to compare overall, not just with sound as well. So, build quality wise, the build quality on the kph40 is very good, don't get me wrong. It is also metal, but it's very thin metal, so it doesn't feel as nice, but it's still good quality. Ignore the fact that this has MMCX. I did this. This normally has an attached cable on both sides, and also ignore this. This is me breaking it while trying to mod it, so this is not the kph40's fault. This is my fault. Anyway, so yeah, you see now it's all the way to. Let me just push this into place, please. There we go. But yeah, so it comes with an attached cable on both sides that leads into a 3.5 that is removable. I don't find that to count as removable cable. Some people do. I don't. I think that's just an attached cable with extra steps. It's not very useful. You can't really change the cable to what you want, and if the cable on each side breaks, you can't replace it. So that's just useless. So that's why I did this mod here, and I messed up. I have to glue this later. But yeah, overall, it is still it's a decent cable that it comes with, but I can't really talk about the cable because I don't have it, and this is the only kph40 I got. So, sound-wise though, the sound is similar to the full pads that come with the Distant Mountain. It is a very musical tuning though. I think it is a little bit better with the bass quality than the full pads are on this. When you put the full pads on the Distant Mountain, The bass is decent, but it's not as nice as the kph40. And I think if you're looking for the sound that the full pads provide, you might as well just buy the kph40. kph40 is cheaper. I believe it's around $40, $50, somewhere around there. But it's cheaper. It's got better note weight than the full pads do on here. Overall, vocals sound nicer, I believe. On actually, let me think. I think female vocals were better on here. Male vocals were on here. But the vocals are kind of a toss-up. And then treble was a lot better on the kph40. So overall, I think that it was better with the full pads on the kph40 than on the Distant Mountain. And also the kph40 is overall better for, I think, if you're listening to like something like pop or something more energetic, you want something more bassy, kph40 all the way. Detail wise and overall technicalities, with the open pads on the Distant Mountain, that's just king here out of all, 3 options. But if we're going to go with the full pads or the Yaxi on the Yaxi pads or the kph40, I think that detail wise you're going to win it out on here. Soundstage wise, you have a little bit better soundstage on the kph40. But with the open pads on here, best soundstage out of all 3. Now, I'm losing my voice. Now, let me see, what else was I going to talk about here? Oh yeah, comfort, as I said, better on the kph40 as well. So if you're looking for something very comfortable, very long period of time, kph40 all the way, especially with these Yaxi pads that are very soft. But comfort is not necessarily bad on here. Overall, can I recommend the Distant Mountain? Absolutely. I think that especially with the open pads, like the open center pads, these provide a very good quality sound, great technicalities, good soundstage. Imaging was also great on here. Note weight was lacking on the full pads, but good on the open pads. And overall, the open pads had better note weight than the kph40. The note weight on here was kind of poor. Anyway, overall sound is very good quality on here with the open pads. With the open pads, absolute recommendation. With the full pads, it's kind of still a consideration. Do you care more about the male vocals or female vocals? Female vocals go with the kph40. Male vocals go with these. Also, if you want something more energetic, fun, musical, I think this is better than the full pads on here. Also, as well, I wanted to say that the detail technicality wise, this is going to be better. Overall, the mid-range and vocals are very pushed back on the full pads. Very pushed back, more than on the kph40 and a lot more than this. The mid-range and the vocals especially, on the open pads are pushed forward so much that it's just where I'd want it, but a lot of people don't like forward vocals, and if you don't like forward vocals, this may seem shouty to you. So that's another thing I forgot to mention, that the open center pads, they're very nice. I really like forward vocals. If you see my channel, you see me always talk about I want the vocals to be forward. But I know a lot of people don't like when it's too forward, and so I think that the people who think it would be shouty would not appreciate this and would not like that, and I would recommend then the kph40 as well. But if you like forward vocals, you like forward mid-range overall, forward instruments and vocals, you will love the open center pads on here. But overall, yeah, great build quality. Comfort is good enough. I'd say comfort's still better on the kph40, but it's still fine. I can still wear these for a decent amount of time. Build quality is excellent, and then the sound, especially on these open center pads, are excellent for the price. Can I recommend the Distant Mountain? Absolutely. Over the kph40, not the broken side. I'm sure the good looking side. Can I recommend it over the kph40? Only with the open pads if you want less bass, more vocal centric, and also a little bit more treble centric tuning. I would recommend the Distant Mountain. Anyway, that's about it. See ya.